11 of the Roar Rundown. I'm Isaac Bourne, and Josiah isn't here. Guys, it's been a hard time without Josiah this week. Just so much stuff going on. He's just busy. I miss him a lot. So, I'm going to truck through this week just for Josiah. Don't tell him I said this, but I miss him. With Josiah gone, we still have to truck on, and unfortunately, not a great week in Ouachita sports, but if my name is still Isaac Bourne, then I still got to talk about the sports here for Ouachita. We'll start off with football. And Battle of the Ravine was a fun broadcast, and I'll say we all had a great time putting it together here at OSD, and putting together the pregame show, putting together the guests. But the result was not exactly the one that Ouachita fans would have wanted. Henderson State prevails in that one over at Cliff Harris Stadium, 41-14. You got to give credit where credit is due for the Reddies. Andrew Edwards, an incredible game at quarterback for the Reddies. For Ouachita, Trey Nichols, playing on one leg, just did not look like himself. Really could not get out of the pocket as well as he has in the past. Still 262 passing yards and a touchdown, but he threw an interception with 7 sacks taken on the day. I mean, that just goes down to the fact that with the inability to get out of the pocket because of his hobbled leg, Nichols just did not look like the guy that we've seen in the past few weeks. Meanwhile, Carter McElhaney, 98 yards receiving and a touchdown, and A.J. Jones with 89 yards receiving. So 2 great wide receivers for Ouachita. Meanwhile, Khalil Smith shining for the defense with 6 tackles, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, and a QB hit. The Ouachita defense held down in the first half, but really just kind of let Henderson State go away with it in the second half, winning that one by a wide margin. And that's the end of the season for football. It's been a fun fall season, and with this being my senior year, it'll probably be my last game watched for Ouachita. Not probably, it'll definitely be my last game watched for Ouachita as a student. Tigers end the season at 7-4, and it's time for next season. Happy and excited to see what we're going to see from this team next year. But for now, 7-4 on a down year for Ouachita. Not bad. We'll see what they do next year, though, with some more veteran players and with hopefully another year of Trey Nichols under their belt. Next up is volleyball, and I've got some better news for this Tiger team. Following that loss to Harding just a week ago, this team has really started to pick things up once again. They got 2 3-0 sweeps this week, both of them in Arkadelphia, not both of them at home. Arkansas Tech came to town the other day. Ouachita swept them 3-0. Riley Brazil, just an incredible performance for her. 8 kills and 9 digs. And Courtney Hansen, 6 kills with 10 digs and 24 assists. Great performances for them. Their last game ever played at the Spec, and that's how they went out. It was a pretty short one, too. It was pretty much domination for the Tigers in that game against an Arkansas Tech team that is now 4th seeded going into the GAC tournament. Then across the street at Henderson State on Thursday, Leah Gardner, really the star for the Tigers that night. Only 6 kills, but 7 solo blocks. Just 7 solo blocks is wild. You only see about 3 for most players in a game that are a really good middle blocker, but 7. Just an incredible performance for the junior, and we'll have her back next year. Meanwhile, Courtney Hansen, 27 assists and 23 digs. Another 2020 game for the senior setter. The Tigers now finish up their season with the one blemish in conference play. They finish up on the season 25-4, and now it's tournament time, baby. They finish up GAC play 15-1, which means that they take themselves the outright conference champions for the regular season. Now it's tournament time heading to Shawnee, Oklahoma. They'll play in Fire Lake Arena. Last time we've seen that was actually a few years ago when the men's basketball team went to Shawnee, where last time any Ouachita team played in Fire Lake Arena. The 8-seeded Ouachita men's basketball team knocked off the 1-seeded Southern Nazarene basketball team my freshman year back in 2023. Now, though, going across state lines, the Tigers will face off against Southern Arkansas in the first round. Ouachita versus SAU, that game will be a good one. Below them, though, in the 4 and 5 line, Arkansas Tech versus Oklahoma Baptist. Tech, the team that Ouachita blew out 3-0 last week. Last time these two teams faced off before that was a 3-1 win for the Tigers in Russellville. Meanwhile, Oklahoma Baptist, they've only seen Ouachita once, and that was a thriller of a performance. Baptist really had the game in their hands for most of it, but Ouachita able to come back in that fifth set and win it in 5. The Bison will be a big challenge for the Tigers in that second round if the Tigers and the Bison win. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, Southwestern Oklahoma State taking on ECU. That one should be a open and shut case for Southwestern Oklahoma State. The Bulldogs this season have had one of the most dangerous frontline defenses in the nation, second in the country in blocks. But also, Henderson State, the 7 seed, taking on the 2-seeded Harding. The Bisons, the lone team to beat Ouachita in conference play that was at their place. And while it was 5 sets, we have seen that the only 2 teams to really have a chance at beating Ouachita, other than Southwestern Oklahoma State, which we've only seen once this season against the Tigers, have to be Harding or Oklahoma Baptist. And Oklahoma Baptist on this side of the bracket, meanwhile Harding on the other one. It'll be interesting to see how the second round goes on. I do have all of the higher seeds winning, other than that 4-5 line. I think Oklahoma Baptist playing a little bit better volleyball up to this point. Arkansas Tech starting to really fall off a little bit. But we'll kind of see how this conference tournament goes on. Meanwhile, previewing a little bit more of that Ouachita-SAU game. SAU, the 8 seed, 6-10 in Great American Conference play, and obviously led by star libero Sadie Kabish, had 43 digs against Ouachita last time they went up against each other at the Sturgis Physical Education Center. The Tigers really just have to try to find a way around Kabish. I feel like when the last time these 2 teams faced off, the approach was just go straight up at Sadie Kabish. Eventually, they did get her tired, but it was 43 digs into the game, 4 sets into it, before Ouachita finally prevailed. If you're the Tigers, you want to get through that one as quickly as possible. Win this game in 3 sets, not have any to do about it, because you're going to have 2 difficult games going forward. And if Ouachita wants to make it out of Shawnee, especially when they are 6 hours away from home, you have to make sure that the easy ones are easy, so then the difficult ones can be more looked into, and you can also be ready for those a little bit more. So we'll see how all of that pans out. The Tigers face off against SAU at 3 o'clock coming up on Thursday. They'll leave on Wednesday for the conference tournament and all of those awards that go with that. Next up is women's soccer. No men's soccer news this week, but with the women's team heading over to Searcy to have the Great American Conference tournament. First off, they beat Southwestern Oklahoma State 2-0, the first win over the Bulldogs this season. Lennon Porter scoring her first goal of the season, and Maddie Vanna scoring the one to take out the Bulldogs for good. Then the Tigers head on to the championship match where Harding prevails over the Tigers 1-0. Really a slugfest of a match. The Bisons able to score in the first half, Ouachita unable to equalize it, and the Tigers fall in the GAC tournament. But with this being the 3rd straight GAC championship appearance for the Tigers, this program only trending up. Ava Doonigan, Lennon Porter, and Maddie Vanna were all selected to the GAC All-Tournament team as the Tigers finished their season 8-7-5. Next up, guys, it is really basketball time, and I could not be more excited. Looking at the men's basketball team, they finished off 1-1 in the GAC MIAA Conference Challenge this weekend. The first one against Rogers State. They win that one 64-54 against the Hillcats. Devin Hancock really showing that he can be a star from this team. The transfer from UL Monroe scored 15 points, also garnering 2 steals in the game. And Christian Parks, standing only 6'7", transferring from Holmes Community College. Christian Parks, 10 points and 9 rebounds, just barely missing out on the double-double in the win. But the Tigers, they looked strong in this one, really able to take the Hillcats out of it and win that one on the road. Then turning on to Saturday, the Tigers faced off against UA Fort Smith and lost due to a last-second three-pointer that gave UA Fort Smith the 73-70 win. Crew Flowers, really the star in that one, 20 points, 2 steals, 3 made three-pointers, and Jackson Conley as well, 16 points and 4 rebounds. One thing about this men's basketball team that a lot of fans are going to be excited to see is there's not exactly a guy like a Hobart Grayson or a Sean Williams this year, but this entire starting lineup, very talented from top to bottom. PJ Neal, coming back from last season, a talented distributor, had 5 assists in the first game, 3 in the second, a guy that can play good defense. He's also very strong, can play inside and out on defense, really. And also, he can make a 3 or score a layup when needed. Then we talk about Crew Flowers already in his second season at Ouachita, proving that he's a guy that can really be a go-to guy on the offensive side. And then Devin Hancock, another talented guard. Jackson Conley, kind of a little bit of a wing, but also can play some big man, and that's kind of where you've seen him play. And so I'll be interested to see what kind of roles he's put into. And then also Christian Parks. He looks like he's going to be the go-to big man on this team, standing only 6'7", but I promise you this guy can get up and dunk the ball when needed to. So this team a little bit shorter than we've seen in the past, but definitely not lacking in scoring and defensive ability. They've got Dallas Christian on Tuesday. The score, we'll put it up right here. I called that one, so I bet you that was a really exciting game to call. But in that one also, here are the 2 players, the 2 highest scorers, right here and right here. And then they take on Ecclesia on Saturday. So this men's basketball season still going through non-conference play, but they'll have conference play coming up following Thanksgiving break after next week. Next up, women's basketball. They finish up scrimmage season with a blowout over Champion Christian on Friday night. They win that one 91-49. Madeline Tipton, really the star for the Tigers once again, 18 points and 5 rebounds. Tipton, if you don't know the name already, she's someone that can really put the ball on the floor and score, but can also really shoot the rock as well. 18 points in that one. Tipton's going to be the star for this team this year. Meanwhile, Michaela Vadian, 12 points and 11 rebounds, a double-double for the freshman. She's an interesting player to look for because you haven't seen a lot of her, yet we haven't seen her yet on this Ouachita team. This starting lineup looking pretty similar to starting lineups we've seen in the past. Next up for this team, they'll head to Northeastern State on Tuesday for their first regular season game, and then on Thursday, it's the home opener against Mississippi College. Next up is wrestling. Wrestling team handily taking down Williams Baptist 43-3 in Jonesboro, and then getting handled by Oklahoma City on Sunday 45-4. Coming up this week, they've got Carl Albert State on Wednesday and Tarleton State on Friday. Next up for the swim team, the season continues to churn on, and mid-season is almost here. Miami of Ohio and the rest of the teams at the Miami of Ohio Invite will be standing by on Wednesday. That team about a 4-day meet coming up in Oxford, Ohio. Long road trip, but we'll see how mid-season goes for them. Now, plays of the week. I only have 3 sports for the week. It's going to be football, women's soccer, and volleyball. Unable to really get the film for basketball. So for football, you got to give it to Carter McElhaney on that first touchdown to even it up at 7 apiece. And McElhaney finishes off his season just an incredible wide receiver, one of the best in the conference. Now for women's soccer, got to give it to Lennon Porter, getting her first goal of the season and at the right time, giving the Tigers the lead against SWASU. And then finally for volleyball, I've got to give it to the senior Erin Dawson, getting her first kill of the season in her final game as a Tiger. Dawson, just an incredible teammate for this team, finally getting the chance to prove herself on the volleyball court. And this has been the week for the Roar Rundown. I'm Isaac Bourne and excited for this final week of sports before Thanksgiving break starts and this semester finishing up and my career as a Ouachita Tiger also finishing up. But we're not going to think about that right now. But for now, this has been Isaac Bourne and it's just me today. Fighting through it. It's just me today. It's been Isaac Bourne. Thank you for watching the Roar Rundown.